Am I the pooper hatch for walking away from my wife and kids at Costco? So today wife and the kids went to Costco for some shopping. While we were strolling through the aisles, we got to the refrigerator section and my wife picked up a pack of frozen yogurt drinks. My little one, almost 2, saw the yogurt drinks and raised her hand as in asking for some, to which my wife said that she was going to take one out and give it to her. My son, 4, saw this and asked for one too, which my wife proceeded to do. The second I saw her do this, I told her to stop and to not give them the drinks as we haven't paid for them yet. She said no, it's okay as we're going to pay for them anyway, and I replied that if she does it, I'm going to leave her with the kids as that was really embarrassing in case someone called us out. She didn't listen to me and did what she said she would do. So I walked away from her, leaving her with the kids and started looking at other things. Moments later, she called me saying that I should go back as the kids had finished their drinks. I was mad, but I know how my kids are, so I ended up going back. When I went back, we apologized to each other and kept going on with our day. Now we are home and she's acting rude to me and just told me that she thinks I don't care about her at all and I treat her like crap. All on the basis of what happened earlier. So, am I the asshole for doing what I did, even though I gave her fair warning? A couple of reasons why I think it was right in doing what I did. Number 1, as far as I know, it's illegal to open merchandise without paying for it, even though you're still at the store. It's also trashy and embarrassing to do that if people notice you doing it. 2, my kids are not easygoing, as in they don't take no easily. But I've been pretty good at teaching them their limits. Giving them stuff this easily only makes their problem worse. However, my kids do understand that you can't open anything in the store until you're back home or in our car. I don't want them to think it's normal to just open and use store merchandise. P.S. Please excuse my language errors as English is my second language. Thanks in advance. It's really funny that most people who say English is my second language end up writing better than most people who have English as a first language. There are going to be some differing opinions on this because when you have a kid that small, as a parent with that child in public, if the kid was like losing their shit, then it's a like, screw it, decorum I no longer care about. I would much rather get weird looks for opening up this yogurt drink than to get weird looks because my toddler's screaming throughout the entire store, right? I mean, we've been in Target before and have picked up snacks and Navy Thunder sees them and is like, and we're like, you know what? Fine. It's not a big deal. We know we're going to pay for them. It's not like we're trying to steal them. It's not like we're buying it by the pound. It's not like we're in the candy store getting jelly beans where they need to stick them on the scale. And then we'd have to stick her on the scale before we started shopping. And then on our way out to see how many jelly beans she had ingested and pay for those as well. It's not like that. It's like you're buying the box of whatever it is. And in this case, they were buying the yogurt drinks, the pack of them. They were going to pay for them with young kids. It becomes more about handling the situation than it does about normal decorum. It doesn't sound like the little one was freaking out though. So mom just kind of caved. That's her own policy. I think as long as you're paying for it, I don't give a shit if I see somebody giving their kid something in the store. I don't look at them and think that it's trashy or think that they're stealing. You guys may feel differently. You guys may judge me and Candy Thunder whenever we're giving Navy shit in Target, but we're handling our business. The bigger issue here is that I don't think whatever your wife called you an asshole for has anything to do with this. I really don't. That situation happened. You came back. You both apologized to each other. You moved on. When you got back home, you said that she's acting rude and said that she thinks that you don't care about her at all and you treat her like crap. And you say here, OP, that it's all on the basis of what happened earlier. I highly doubt that she said that. I highly doubt that this one isolated incident is what caused all of this to happen. This is probably the straw that broke camel's back, and this is probably just the tipping point for a recurring series of things that made her feel like you treat her like shit. You told her to stop and to not give them the drinks as we haven't paid for them. She said it was okay. And you said if that happened, you were going to leave her with the kids as it was embarrassing. Okay. Well, you were worried about someone calling you out. So you left her there with the kids. I mean, she made that decision. If you guys have differing feelings about it and you explained it ahead of time, she did what she said she was going to do. You did what you said you were going to do. It's, in my personal opinion, silly to be embarrassed or worry about what people are thinking in this scenario, but that's you. You do you. However, when you are a married couple, this is a whole me not we thing, right? And you guys both moved in me directions instead of we directions. You separated and you left her there with the kids. And I'm guessing that this is another instance in a long line of things where OP probably says this is embarrassing or blah, blah, blah. So your wife is probably taking that as you treating her like crap or making her feel like crap. And this is just one small instance. I do not think that it is this isolated incident. And I think this is a common mistake that dudes make. I'm guilty of it as well. When we do like one small thing, it ends up setting off a chain reaction that becomes a much bigger argument or a bigger issue, and we're confused because we're like, how did this small thing cause this big thing? It's not the small thing that caused it at all. You've got to be able to trace it back to a bigger problem. And if you can't do that on your own, you're going to have to ask. You're going to have to say, look, I'm having trouble connecting the dots here and figuring out how this small thing caused this. What else is going on here? Was this another instance in a series of things? Was there something else that happened? You're going to have to be able to have that conversation and figure out what else is going on here, because I really don't feel like this one thing is big enough to cause this kind of argument. But it could be. I mean, it absolutely could be. I mean, just walking away from your kids and leaving her there because you were embarrassed by them, that might be a big enough deal. I have a feeling, though, there's more to this story, and Hubs here, like so many of us dudes are, can't see the forest for the trees, and is just looking at this one specific tree and not seeing the bigger picture. So you may have to do some soul searching here and kind of go back through the mental Rolodex and figure out what else you done up over the past few months or however long. What other instances that are similar to this have happened recently? Has this been a growing problem? You see where I'm going with this. I would suggest trying to figure it out on your own first before having the conversation, because the more mentally prepared you are, the more you will be prepared for those conversations. And I think if you have an idea of what might be the issue, then when you go into that conversation, you're validating something instead of going in blind. It's easier to have that conversation and fess up by calling yourself out on XYZ. And that also helps her feel validated and shows that you're paying attention, that you're actually putting some mental horsepower into it. So give that a shot. Think about it. Try to figure out what else is going on that you've screwed up in and try to validate that. And if you can't figure it out, you can go into the conversation flying blind. It's just a lot harder to do. And we also, as dudes, kind of show our ass when we do that because we're like, I don't get it. It's this one small thing. It caused a big argument. I don't understand. And then it becomes of course you don't understand. Why would you? You don't pay attention. It's because it's just another instance of you treating me like shit. See what I'm saying? Try to figure it out first. Be as mentally armed as possible before you have that conversation. Just be ready to apologize. Which leads to another conversation. There was an instance over the past few days where a buddy of mine had gotten to a disagreement with his wife and was trying to over-explain in an apology. And I told him that one of the most valuable lessons that I've learned in marriage to this point is that if you know your significant other is hurt by something and they bring it to you, the most effective apology that you can give is very short, sweet, and simple, and only contains 2 sentences. And that is, I'm sorry, I'll do better. Anything else that you say puts you in danger of your own words being used against you, and you don't need to over-explain here. And as dudes, I think we try to over-explain and we try to justify with logic. I'm very guilty of this. I want to be able to logically understand an issue, so I may try to justify something or I may try to dig deeper, but if I know that something has been perceived by Candy Thunder in a way that she doesn't appreciate, I have to try to understand that, and I have to try to do better, and that's all that matters. And then she knows that I've heard the issue. She knows that I'm going to work on improving it, and that's all that matters. Nothing else needs to be said. Check it out. If dude here had used that whenever his wife said that she doesn't think that you care about her at all and you treat her like crap, OP, what would have happened if you said, I'm sorry, I'll do better? Imagine what would have happened here. Instead of trying to justify everything that you're doing, trying to empathize and understand how she's feeling and just saying, truly, I am sorry and I will do better. That's it. Everybody in a relationship, remember that. I'm dead serious. As long as you deliver it in a very heartfelt way. I have been guilty of delivering that same apology in a very robotic way just to check the box and kind of doing it in an asshole-ish way, and I was the asshole for that. You can screw that up, so you've got to try really hard not to, and you've got to be serious and mean it whenever you deliver that. But hang on to that one. That will help you avoid a lot of traffic jams in your relationship by you saying a bunch of shit that doesn't need to be said. Keep it simple. Oh yeah, so we're trying to find out if you're the asshole here. I think in this specific instance, you're potentially the asshole because being embarrassed by the situation and leaving your kids there, maybe, I don't know. I'm not even going to put you on the ascon scale for that. I'd like for that to be a discussion amongst comments here because you guys communicated about it and then you came back and you apologized to each other and you moved on. Like, I don't see a big issue there. The bigger issue that I see is that you're not able to connect the dots with whatever the bigger issue is. And that's further evidenced by you giving us this one specific instance and trying to attribute it all to that. It ain't that. Let me know what I'm missing in comments here, folks. I'm sure I'm missing something. I usually am. And I always am driving home after this or a week week later when the video gets posted, I'm like, oh damn, I should have said XYZ, but I didn't. So let me know what your thoughts are. Also, quick reminder, these videos are not about me. There has been some confusion lately. Some people thinking that some of these videos and these stories are about me. They are not. These are stories that are posted on Reddit or sent directly to us by OPs, which is original posters, or the subjects of the story, and we simply read them and give feedback on them. So none of these stories have to do with me. If we're ever doing an Am I the Asshole story that is based on me, I will tell you up front, but we have not done that yet, and I can't imagine that we will yet. So I have added this little message. These stories are not about me, and if you see anybody out there who is thinking these stories are about me and is talking smack, please help me educate them and let them know that I am not the guy. I'm not this guy. I'm not anybody else that we talk about in stories. I'm just a guy reading the story and giving some feedback and trying to entertain you guys, okay? Okay, all right.